The storm outside hadn't stopped in hours. The rain outside hit the metal roof like drums. Vine sat in the far corner of the room, legs stretched out, quietly cleaning her antique with whiskey-soaked cloth. Her coat lay across the back of the chair, with tucked-in tag, in case she needs to act urgently. Her eyes were locked on the fire in front of her, but her mind racing with the thoughts of what happened the previous night. The agents didn't just fail to catch her, they lost a truckload of high-grade stuff, and one of their own, AK Taehyung, was publicly exposed as her partner after that revenge in the alley, which was a sweet lie on her part, of course. She smirked at the memory. Whined to herself, low. Poor bastard, didn't see that coming. And now, then the door creaked open. One of her trusted men, nervous. You're wanted. She didn't know. Everyone wants me. Try hard. Unfazed by her taunting nature. Not them. The boss. The one up top. She turned her head slowly. What boss? Arrogantly asked, but this arrogance suited her only. The one for whom you delivered the stuff. He asked for you, personally. Silence. Wine leaned back, eyes narrowing. She never believed in ghosts. But this man, this boss, was treated like the one. Orders came, people moved. No face, no voice, just decisions from above. No one met him. Until now. And he wanted her. Calm. I delivered his precious cargo. Clean, on time. Tell him to get over it, as I'm not interested in seeing his probably hideous face. Took a slow drag from her cigar. Rafiq didn't flinch. You're the only one who dares say that. You're the only one who doesn't call him boss. One let the smoke fill the room before exhaling. Why should I respect a ghost no one has ever seen? He's real, and he's waiting for you. Feels like a trap. If you won't go, then he'll think you got scared. And you know, in this underworld, words spread faster than fire. She stared at him for a bit, then stood up, calm and slow, pulled her coat back over her shoulder, sleeves and all. Holstered the checker and spoke with a calm. But that kind of calm that came right before a bullet. If the king wants to meet me, he better be ready to kneel too. He stormed out of the safe house, but under that confidence in the corner of her mind, a whisper asked, why now? Why her? Secured base, night. Everything was silent, too silent. Smoke coils through the air. Men outside stand like statues, silent, armed. Two men opened the main vault door without asking for ID. She walks in, lighting a cigarette without breaking her stride. Blood still drying on the cuff of her coat. Her boots echo across the concrete floor like they are daring someone to try her. Eyes cold, back straight. She doesn't ask where to go. They part like waves when she walks past, because they know who she is. They know what she has done. She stepped inside the dark room. No windows, just a desk, one chair and a glass of whiskey untouched. Her gaze landed on the undeniably cold presence of a man standing with his back turned. Black suit, broad shoulders, voice flat, unamused. You called me all the way here and can't be asked to turn around. Half smug as she anticipated him to turn around pissed. Voice deep, smooth and cold. I was enjoying the silence. Thought I would lose it the moment he walked in. She narrowed her eyes. Something felt wrong, but familiar. The man turned and everything stopped. Her lips freeze mid-smirk, quite pissed. You've got to be kidding me. Kim Taehyung. Not in cuffs, not bleeding, not hiding. Standing there like he owned the air in the room. The same damn agent who had been chasing her. Same bastard she kissed and fed to the agents by calling him her partner. The one she used and dumped. The one who will play villain not only in her movies, but in real life too. Calmly. Surprise. Hold on. Didn't think Rush could claim this high. Shrugs calmly. Didn't think mafia coons were this easy to fool. Cut the chase. Visibly irritated. Why did you do that? Pretended to think for a moment, then answered mischievously. Maybe I liked how desperate you look when you grabbed me. She stepped forward, eyes locked on him, calm, unshaken. I should have put a bullet in your mouth that night. Smirks, enjoying her annoyance. Why? Your tongue tasted just right. She scoffed, maybe to keep her furry from bleeding out her nose. Took one last drag, then dropped the remaining and crushed it under her boot as she stepped forward, eyes intense and dark. You're still breathing, that's my mercy. Quite, let's see. No. That's my power. They were standing face to face. Neither blinks, neither blinks. Your story. Shame you won't live long enough to tell it twice. He chuckled. No fear, no softness. See, that's the thing about you. All that attitude, yet you kiss me like a rookie. Steps close, in his face. You talk too much for someone still breathing. And you are too cocky for someone who just walked into my trap. At this point, he was just trying to piss her off. As to him, she was looking damn hot while angry. However, Vine didn't flinch. She just tilted her head slightly, then smiled. Trap or not, I never walk in without planting a palm on the way out. His smile faded slightly. She leaned in, whispered near his jaw. One word from me, and this place turns into ashes. Leans into. One word from me, and you never leave this room.